for the role, but certainly made him seem more authoritative. The boy regarded Santa solemnly. "I want my dad to move back home."
"Is that your father?"
asked Santa, looking toward a couple standing near Grumpy. The woman was pretty and blonde, with the look of someone in her 30s who'd been preemptively hitting the Botox. If the guy she was plastered all over was old enough to be out of college, I would have been very surprised.
"No," said the boy. "That's my mom and her friend Rodger."
Santa was silent for a few moments.
"Is there anything else you'd like?"
I left them to it and returned to my post near the line's start. Evening was wearing on, increasing the number of families turning out. Unlike Santa's, my shift ended in less than an hour. I could get in a little shopping time and miss the worst of the commuting traffic. As an official mall employee, I got a considerable discount, which made drunken Santas and foiled dresses that much easier to bear. One of the greatest things about the happiest time of the year was that all the department stores had extensive cosmetics and fragrance gift sets out right now. Gift sets that desperately needed a home in my bathroom.
"Georgina?"
My dreams of sugar plums and Christian Dior were interrupted by the sound of a familiar voice. I turned and felt my heart sink as I met the eyes of a pretty middle-aged woman with cropped hair. "Janice! Hey! How's it going?" My former co-worker returned my stiff smile with a puzzled one.
"Fine. I didn't expect to see you here."
I also hadn't expected to be seen here. It was one of the reasons I'd chosen to work outside the city, to specifically avoid anyone from my old job. "Likewise. Don't you live in Northgate?" I tried not to make it sound like an accusation. She nodded and rested her hand on the shoulder of a small, dark-haired girl.
"We do, but my sister lives over here, and we thought we'd visit her after Alicia talks to Santa."
"I see," I said, feeling mortified. Wonderful. Janice was going to go back to Emerald City Books and Cafe and tell everyone that she'd spotted me dressed as an elf. Not that that could make things worse, I supposed. Everyone there already thought I was the whore of Babylon. It was why I'd quit a few weeks ago. What was an elf dress on top of that?
"Is this Santa any good?" asked Alicia impatiently. "The one I saw last year didn't get me what I wanted."
Over the buzzing of the crowd, I just barely heard Santa saying,
"Well, Jessica, there's not much Santa can do about interest rates."
I turned back to Alicia. "It kind of depends on what you want," I said.
"How did you end up here?"
asked Janice, with a small frown. She actually sounded concerned, which I supposed was better than her gloating. I had a feeling there were a number of people at the bookstore who would have loved the idea of me suffering. Not that this job was so bad. "Well, this is just temporary, obviously," I explained. "It gives me something to do while I interview for others, and I get a mall discount. And really, it's just another form of customer service." I was trying hard not to sound defensive or desperate, but with each word, the intensity of how much I missed my old job hit me more and more. "Oh, good," she said, looking slightly relieved. "I'm sure you'll find something soon. Looks like the line's moving." "Wait, Janice?" I caught hold of her arm before she could walk away. How's Doug?" I'd left behind a lot of things at Emerald City. A position of power, a warm atmosphere, unlimited books and coffee. But as much as I missed all of those things, I didn't miss them as much as I missed a single person. My friend, Doug Sato. He, more than anything, was what had spurred me to leave. I hadn't been able to handle working with him anymore. It had been terrible, seeing someone I care about so much regard me with such contempt and disappointment. I'd had to get away from that, and felt I'd made the right choice, but it was still hard losing someone who'd been a part of my life for the last 5 years. Janice's smile returned. Doug had that effect on people. "Oh, you know, he's Doug. The same..."